Hey, what's going on, people? Dogysamich here for another episode of Georgia on the Grind, a Georgia fighting game community podcast about recent and upcoming events. You already know the deal at this point. Not really going to try to do anything too crazy this time around. So I'm going to talk about a couple of events that happened in the past week or so, talk about some upcoming events, and there's a couple of new ones to be on the lookout for, and I don't really have too much to say past that. Without further ado, in the past week, the weeklies have been going on. The two weeklies that I know of at this point being 404 and Esports Arena. They went off without a hitch, as per usual. 404 had their multitude of events throughout the week on Wednesday, Thursday. They actually skipped Friday, which, I mean, Greg is a human being, it happens. They had events on Saturday. ESA, the only thing I've been able to account for at all has been Tekken Thursdays. They have advertised Smash Sundays, they've advertised Strive on Mondays, but I haven't seen any results for those. I've only seen results for Tekken so far, which this past week they had their 7th Tekken event, and they had 12 people who entered it, so they're on the steady come up with that. Past Friday was also the bi-weekly in Morrow, Fayetteville. I'm gonna click real quick. I'm not editing this. I want to double check this. Pretty sure it's Morrow. Yep, in Morrow. At Team Net with Zone Breakers for Breakout, their bi-weekly event. Bi-weekly event that has Dragon Ball FighterZ, Tekken 7, Guilty Gear Strive, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and they tried to run Ultimax, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, but didn't have enough entrants to get that one going. Everything else ran without a hitch. Without a hitch is the catchphrase for this so far, till I start thinking about my vocabulary. VODs have not gone up for that just yet from what I see, but when I catch them, I will add them to this description. And so moving on to the upcoming events, the weeklies don't really need to go too much into detail about it. 404 already has their schedule up. I kind of wish I would have got this done yesterday so I could have finally had this in place for once, but weather happened. But they are looking like they're running their usual Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Greg has put a question mark on Saturday, going to have the store open for casuals, but I've seen somewhere, I think it was on Twitter, that he was taking suggestions and requests for events to run on Saturday. So if you catch this in the next day or two, maybe you can slide something his way and get your crew in there. Esports Arena, again, have advertised Tekken. They've advertised their 3 games, Tekken, Ultimate, and Strive, but Tekken is the focus because, again, that's the only one that I ever see results from. This time around, for their 8th iteration, the manager of ESA said that if 16 people enter, that they will add a bonus $100 to the pot. So that's something for the Tekken players to try to strive out for. And seeing as it's been growing from the beginning, and last week they had 12, I won't be surprised if they hit 16. If somehow they don't do it this week, they'll probably hit it next week. Speaking of next week, that's a pretty good way and reason to transition into 3 events that are happening next week. First one is, again, Zone Breakers bi-weekly Breakout. It's going to be happening on Friday the 15th. Going to have presumably the same 5 events. Tekken 7, Guilty Gear Strive, Dragon Ball FighterZ, Persona 4 Arena, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Hopefully they get all 5 events off the ground this time, but only time will tell. I'm gonna go to the next day because this is an event that I just happened to see in passing while looking on Twitter. Nobody's told me about it, but it looks big enough that I kind of want to throw this to anybody who needs this information. Next Saturday on the 16th, down in Valdosta, of all places, yes, in Valdosta, there's a pretty decent sized Ultimate tournament happening called Battle for the South. Looking at the Smash GG, I see that there are more than 60 people registered right now. I think it was like 67. I kind of want to say 64, but that sounds kind of cliche. More than 60. I don't know what that translates to for Smash World Tour points, but even overlooking that, assuming that they even try to get it as a World Tour event, 64 people for what they have on Smash GG is a singles only tournament. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. So if you trying to get that Smash on, you might want to see if you want to get close to the border next Saturday. Now, backing up to Friday, on the 15th, there is a pretty, I don't want to say important announcement, but a pretty notable announcement for an event for a group of people in Georgia. And it's a group of people that have been trying time and time again to get themselves recollected and reassembled for many times in the past few years, and that's the Street Fighter community. Last week, directly after I did the recording for this, Happy Accident Media, aka HAM, which it's KB, announced that they are going to host one more round. One more round is a Street Fighter V tournament. I think it's better to pan it as an event and a reunion that's happening at 404 Esports, with the attempt and the hopes of trying to get people to venture out into the wild and try to revive the offline Street Fighter V scene. Again, that's going to be happening next Friday on the 15th. Details for it and everything else that I've listed so far is going to be in the description. That's going to be something that I have my eyes out for to see how that pans out, because again, like, there have been many individuals in the Street Fighter community that have been trying to, I don't want to specifically say pull everybody together, but to just like get some steam rolling ever since GB dissolved a few years ago and nothing's really stuck. So with the charisma that KB brings to the table, hopefully he'll be able to rally everybody together and keep the ball rolling well into Street Fighter 6. We'll see what happens with that. Past that, there's not really too much to mention. Again, Zone Breakers did have the date saved for 30th, I think it was. I know it was the last Saturday. Yes, the 30th of the month. And they have indeed confirmed that it'll be another Break Fest, which is their monthly event at IHOP. I'll go ahead and throw what details I have there now, but we'll talk about them more as the end of the month comes. Still have MomoCon on the calendar. Tipped Off 13 is on the calendar. We're actually going to talk about Tipped Off 13 a bit, because one of the TOs reached out and said he wanted to talk about the history of Tipped Off, where the whole reunion came from, so on and so forth. So it'll be pretty good for a different angle to the podcast. I promise, if and when it happens, there will be more structure than what there is right now. With that being said, though, it's about that time. Like, trying to keep these around the 10-minute mark. I still think 10 minutes is a little too long, but we got to work on that. Yeah, we're out of here. Oh, before we go, because at this point, I'm already gonna have the event calendar up there, but I'm gonna hit you with the new stuff, because I've been saying this for the past 2 or 3 weeks, and I finally did it. Yeah, it's like ugly and everything, but just like this entire production, it's a work in progress, and we'll just fine tune it as we go. Yeah, you got the event page, you got this ugly event calendar, and we'll try to spice things up as we go. It's like always. Until next time, be easy, y'all.